English podcast, where learning English is easy and fun.
That's right. I'm James. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So we're here again, ready to take that stack of research, all those notes, and really pull out the most useful bits for you. Today it's about something we all do, or maybe try to do well, answering, how was your day? Sounds simple, right? Mm-hmm. But we usually just say, fine, maybe busy. Our source material, though, it gives us this amazing blueprint, really a whole communication strategy. It's about using, precise language, richer phrases, the right grammar to turn that quick check-in into a real story, something that builds connection. We want to give you the vocabulary to, tell that story, not just list facts. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And that strategy is just so important for the learner because, the second you get past those one-word answers, you start painting a picture, something people can actually relate to. And what's great is our sources gave us these two really detailed but completely different examples of a day. Sort of the story of the crazy rush versus the story of calm preparation. Our goal here is to give you the actual words these two characters use so you can grab the right description for your day.
Yeah, let's jump right into that contrast. That first half hour, our first character, let's call him the hurried one, just immediately sets this high-stress tone. We find out they slept through my alarm. Okay, big problem. And that, of course, is this whole chain of action words that just scream panic. They jumped out of bed, then took a super quick shower, and had to grab a banana on my way out, even drinking coffee while walking. It's pure chaos.
It really is. And it's that specific sequence of verbs, jumping, grabbing, rushing, that gets the feeling across. You don't even need to say, I felt frantic. The description does all the work, it's active, and it sticks with you.
Totally. But then you flip to the other side, the calm character. And the whole story shifts. It's all about the language of, organization, intention. This person gets up deliberately early around 6 a.m. Why? To have a slow start. Mm-hmm. They made a big pot of coffee, and I love this detail specifically, strong and black. And then they took 30 minutes to read the news, the goal, to prepare for the day.
And that difference in phrasing is key, isn't it? It's reaction versus intention. The hurried person is reacting to the alarm failure. The calm one intends to prepare by reading the news, and that intention goes further. They even fit in a quick 20 minutes around the park. Why? Because, as the source says, the weather was perfect. It's this mindful little detail about their environment.
Those details, yeah. The coffee type, the reading time.
Yeah.
It makes waking up feel like a structured scene, not just a necessity.
Right.
And you can see how that morning pace just flows right into the commute quality.
Oh, absolutely. The commute really shows where that initial momentum leads. For our organized person, the journey was surprisingly okay. They even got that little win. We all appreciate getting a seat on the train.
Nice.
And they used the time productively. Listening to a new history podcast, something about ancient Rome, they noted it helped me calm down, even though their morning was already structured.
That's interesting. It's like proactive coping, right? Using the downtime for something engaging. But then there's the drive. Yeah. The one the rushed person had. And the language there, it just creates this feeling of, dread, driving with awful traffic. And the detail makes it real. Being nearly an hour stuck on the same road. Ouch. You feel that frustration.
Yeah, you really do. And this is where we see those mental coping strategies kick in. When they described being stuck, they said they listened to music and mentally planned the workday.
Mentally planned the workday. That phrase is fascinating. Is that real productivity, though? Or is it more like a distraction? Trying not to get furious about the traffic. The source just says they did it, not if the plan was any good.
That's a really sharp observation. It's definitely framed as a strategy to be productive, as they put it, despite the situation. Whether the plan actually worked later, that's maybe irrelevant for the description itself. The point for you, the listener, is that describing both things, the environment, traffic was awful, and your internal activity, mentally planning, it adds layers. Much deeper than just saying, the commute was bad. It shows that internal struggle we all know.
Right, right. It makes it relatable. Okay, let's carry that idea of narrative depth into the office. Because the sources were packed with really useful, practical workplace phrases, moving from the commute into the actual work.
Definitely. We see that clarity again in the successful morning story. There was a big team meeting at 9:30 a.m. about a new project schedule. We even got the context developing a new app for a travel company. Specifics matter, and the result was stated clearly. It went well, and the client was really engaged. Positive outcome.
But then, the flip side. The consequence of being late for a rushed person. Immediate overwhelm. And they use that brilliant metaphor. My morning at work was all emails. The email mountain.
Oh, that phrase is gold, isn't it?
Wow.
It just instantly tells you how buried they felt. And the solution, it needed those phrasal verbs. The late starter spent the first couple of hours just catching up.
Catching up. Yeah, that's such a useful one. It means exactly that, doing work you missed or should done earlier. Super concise, professional. Everyone knows what it means.
And another good informal term we pulled out was about lunch, the al desco lunch. It immediately signals, no proper break. Usually involves grabbing a sandwich and eating it right there at my desk.
Okay, al desco lunch. I wonder about that one. Is that really universal? Or is it more like a corporate buzzword, maybe specific to some English-speaking offices? If I'm talking to someone internationally, maybe just saying eating at my desk is safer, clearer.
That's a fair point about cultural context. Al desco is definitely catching on in certain professional circles in English because it implies that specific struggle of working through lunch. It has that nuance. But you're absolutely right. Eating at my desk is crystal clear anywhere. Either way, the key is describing how and where you ate. It just adds more detail than I had lunch. The sources also gave us good stuff for describing deep work. Like staring at spreadsheets for 3 hours. We've all been there. Working on a finance report, needing to double check the numbers. Those phrasal verbs capture that grind.
Yeah, the detailed focus. But even with the grind, there were wins. The person doing the app designs, their client loved the new designs. And they wrapped up the update with that really satisfying summary. Hard work really pays off.
It turns a list of tasks into, a success story. Okay, so we've got all this great vocabulary, these vivid metaphors, awesome tools. But to actually tell the story sequence, the rush, the traffic, the meeting, the future plans, you need the grammar. Specifically, you've got to shift between tenses smoothly. So what does this all mean? It means you need to match the tense to the exact moment in your day's story you're talking about.
Right. And this is often where learners find it tricky, so it's worth spending a moment here. The source examples really lay out the 4 main tenses you need quite nicely. First up, the foundation. Past simple. This is for actions that are finished, done, happened at a specific point. If the meeting's over, I had a meeting, slide sent. I sent the slides. Simple. Finished.
Got it. Then there's past continuous. That's the one for setting the scene, right? Or describing something happening when something else cut in. Exactly. It's the storyteller's friend. Like the example, I was working on the report. It implies you're in the middle of it. Or I was driving when the traffic hit. The continuous part gives context to that interruption, shows ongoing action.
Okay, that makes sense. Ongoing action in the past.
Then we get to the one that sometimes tricks people up, present perfect. This connects a past action, often a recent one, to the present moment. Its relevance now.
Right. Can you maybe contrast it directly with past simple again, using those source examples? Because getting this distinction right feels important.
Yeah, good idea. Let's stick with the report. Past simple. I finished the finance report at 2 p.m. Focuses on when it was completed. Past event. Done. Okay. But imagine it's 4 p.m. You walk into your boss's office. The report is needed now. You'd use present perfect. I've already finished the finance report. Or I have sent the slides. Hey, see the difference? The completion happened today, maybe just now, and it's relevant to this current conversation. Words like already or just often signal that present perfect context in a daily update.
Ah, okay. So it's about the now relevance. Past simple looks back at the finished action itself. Present perfect highlights the result as it stands now. That clicks.
Precisely. You got it. And then finally, when you're talking about your day, you almost always look ahead, right? Which means using language for future plans. This usually involves going to for intentions, or maybe the present continuous for fixed arrangements. The sources showed this clearly. I'm going to dinner with my sister, that's an intention, or I'm hiking on Saturday. That sounds like a definite plan, using present continuous for future.
Okay, so putting it all together,
Yeah.
that's how the story flows. Like, I was rushing past continuous this morning because I slept through my alarm, past simple. But I've already caught up on emails, present perfect. So tonight, I'm going to relax, future plan.
Yeah.
That's the whole strategy working together. Tenses plus vocabulary.
Spot on. And speaking of relaxing, you can't really finish describing your day without mentioning how you plan to, well, unwind. That's the final piece, really. And it means shifting the vocabulary again away from work tasks towards, like, anticipation, relief.
Yeah, we saw that anticipation language clearly. I'm really looking forward to it. That little phrase signals excitement for what's next, like trying that new Italian restaurant downtown. And the vocabulary for relaxing itself can be specific too, whether it's pizza and a documentary, quiet night in, or something active like planning to go hiking to unwind.
Definitely. And just describing how you plan to relax. Dinner, pizza, hiking, shopping, whatever it is, it says a lot about you, your personality. It gives insight beyond the job title. It's kind of the perfect way to close the loop on the story of your day, which brings up an important question.
Yes, the question for you listening now is, how do you put all this into practice? We've seen how powerful organization can be, the vocabulary you need for reacting to chaos, and how crucial getting those tenses right is for the narrative flow.
So building on all that, maybe think about this. What did you do today to consciously prepare for tomorrow? Did you clear that email mountain? Did you use the present perfect to tell someone a key task is already done? And looking ahead, what specific words, what vocabulary will you use to describe how you plan to unwind this weekend? How can you turn that simple plan into a more compelling, detailed part of your story?
How was your day? It's such a simple, everyday question, right? But think about it. How often is the answer just good or, busy? Well, in this explainer, we're going to change all that. We are going to build a conversational toolkit to help you turn that one-word answer into a real story, one that actually connects you with people. You hear this question all the time, from your partner, your friends, your family. It's supposed to be a doorway into a conversation, but what usually happens is we kind of slam that door shut with a single word, because we tend to reply with this. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Look, these answers are fine, but they're conversation stoppers. They don't invite any follow-up questions. So today, we're going to learn how to share the actual story of your day, which, trust me, will make your conversations so much more interesting. To see exactly how this works, let's follow a day in the life of two different people, Anna and James. Their days are going to be completely different, and through their experiences, we're going to pick up the exact language we need to talk about our own. Okay, let's dive right in. So, Anna's morning was just pure chaos. She slept through her alarm and had to rush around. James, on the other hand, woke up early and really enjoyed a slow start to his day. Now, you notice what we're doing here? We're using the simple past tense. It's the absolute foundation for telling any story about your day, because you're just describing actions that are finished. They're done. We can also use that simple past tense to create a really clear timeline. For James, it was just this nice sequence of events. First, he made coffee, then he read the news, and finally, he went for a run. It just paints a picture of a really organized, calm morning, doesn't it? And all we did was list a few simple, completed actions. All right, so the morning is over. Now we're getting into the main part of the day, the work day, where the challenges and honestly our language get a little more complex. We're about to introduce some great new vocabulary and even a new tense to make our storytelling a whole lot richer. Even a daily commute can add some great detail. Anna took the train and listened to a podcast, which sounds pretty chill. James, however, drove and got stuck in traffic. Two very different experiences, but both are told perfectly with those simple past tense verbs. And now we're at the office, where the real challenges begin. So Anna had to deal with an email mountain, I mean, what a great visual phrase for a totally overflowing inbox. James, meanwhile, had a pretty productive team meeting. We're already starting to hear some fantastic natural-sounding workplace language. Let's just zoom in for a second on that phrase Anna used, catching up. This is an incredibly common phrasal verb. Because her morning was so rushed, she spent the first part of her day doing work that really should have been finished already. It's just the perfect way to explain that frantic feeling of starting the workday already behind.
Even their lunch breaks show a great contrast, and this is where we find a really modern, kind of fun piece of slang. While Anna was being super disciplined, James had what he called an al desco lunch.
Al desco. Isn't that great? It's this playful mix of al fresco, which means eating outdoors, and the word desk. It's totally informal, it's a little bit funny, and it perfectly describes a very common reality of modern office life. And you know what? Using words like this can make your English sound so much more current and natural. Now listen to how the grammar shifts here to describe Anna's afternoon. It felt long because she was working on a report for hours. See that? We've switched to the past continuous, was working, to really emphasize the duration of the activity. It makes you feel how long and draining that task must have been. But for James, a totally different story. His afternoon is all about results, so we're right back to the simple past. He had a great client call. He finished his presentation. These are completed, successful actions. Can you feel the difference there? Was working describes this long, ongoing process, while finished marks a clear achievement. It's a whole different energy. So far, we've only talked about what's already happened, but a really good conversation about your day often looks ahead to what's next. So let's see how Anna and James talk about their plans for the evening. Okay, so we have two different ways to talk about the future right here. Anna says, I'm going to relax. That's her intention, her general plan. But for the dinner, she says, we're trying, using the present continuous. We often use that for plans that feel more fixed, something that's already arranged. James, he just keeps it simple, stating his chill plan directly. When Anna talks about that dinner, she says she's really looking forward to it. This is such a fantastic phrasal verb because it does more than just state a plan, it adds emotion. It tells the listener that you're genuinely excited about whatever is coming next. It's a great one to have in your back pocket. So just by following Anna and James through their day, we've actually built this really powerful language toolkit. You now have the grammar and the vocabulary to move way beyond good or busy and tell the real, textured, interesting story of your day. And here they are, the core tools we've been using. We've got the simple past for finished actions, the past continuous for things that happened over a period of time, be going to for your intentions, and the present continuous for those more fixed plans. You can think of this table as your personal cheat sheet for daily storytelling. And of course, don't forget the vocabulary. This is the stuff that adds color and personality to your story. Phrases like slept through my alarm, email mountain, and al desco. These are what make your descriptions relatable and frankly, just a lot more fun to listen to. So now, it's your turn to give it a try. Think about your day so far. What did you do this morning? What were you doing this afternoon? And now, tell me, what are you going to do tonight? Try using the toolkit we built today, and I promise, you'll see how much better your conversations can be.
And that's all for today's episode of the Speak Up Session English podcast.
We hope you enjoyed learning how to talk about your day in English.